Chair recognizes that the Lenore County Board of Education has established a quorum and calls the November 7th, 2022 regular monthly board meeting to order. Chair recognizes Mr. Nick Harvey.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Let us pray. May the words spoken in this room tonight be beneficial to the students, parents, staff, and administrators in our school system. And may we be led by the guiding principle to always base our decisions on the best interests of our young people. Amen.
Thank you, Mr. Harvey. Please join me in the pledge of allegiance. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. The chair recognizes Mr. Brent Williams to present the agenda for tonight's meeting.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and members of the board. Tonight it's my honor and privilege to present to you for your consideration and hopefully your approval tonight's agenda.
Thank you, Mr. Williams. Is there a recommendation or a motion pertaining to the agenda?
So moved.
Second.
Got a motion by Mr. Woods and a second by Mr. Smith to approve the board agenda as presented. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, chair will call for the vote. All in favor of the motion as stated, please signify by raising your right hand. All opposed, like sign. Motion carries. The agenda is set for tonight's meeting. Okay, I would like to, first of all, recognize our elected officials. And I see Mr. Preston Harris is with us tonight. Thank you. Welcome.
Thank you very much.
Glad you could be with us. I do have some comments I would like to make. Try to be brief. This is a very busy time of the year for our school system. We would like to continue to thank all of the teachers, staff, and employees, regardless of job description, for the outstanding commitment, dedication, and hard work that goes into making the students of Lenore County Public Schools successful, as well as the Lenore County Public School system itself. We want to assure all stakeholders that the Lenore County Board of Education and the administration will continue to commit to doing everything possible to provide for a safe and healthy environment for students, staff, and community. We have a digital showcase presentation tonight, something we have not had in a while, featuring Lenore County Public School students and how they are using technology to learn in the classroom. We also have a presentation that will highlight the hard work and dedication that has been put forth by the entire child nutrition department. Mr. Williams will also highlight more good news tonight about the hard work and dedication that Lenore County Public School students and staff have put forth that have resulted in numerous honors and recognitions and accomplishments. But before Mr. Williams makes his announcement, we would like to congratulate Dr. Outlaw on her recent marriage and to wish Dr. Outlaw Starkey all the best in the future.
Thank you. Thank you.
We would also like to recognize and thank Mr. Billy Davis for his years of service to the students of Lenore County Public Schools and to the citizens of Lenore County. Mr. Davis will complete his term at the end of the month. We'll ask Mr. Davis to come forward for a presentation and a picture. So we do have a plaque that we'd like to present to Mr. Davis, and I'll read it. This is presented to Billy Davis in grateful appreciation of your years of dedicated service to the Lenore County Board of Education, November 7, 2022.
Okay, on three. 1, 2. There you go.
See if you'd like to say something. See if you'd like to say something.
Billy, I don't want to put you on the spot. Anything you'd like to say?
It's been an honor serving Lenore County Public Schools. It has been since 1965, my whole life. I'm not saying that I'm through with the school system, but for right now, I just want a break. So, keep looking.
Thank you, Mr. Bass. Chair now recognizes Mr. Brent Williams to present the following honors, recognitions, and accomplishments.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Tonight it's my honor to share some very good news with you about our school system. It highlights the great things that are happening, but most of all, it highlights what we already know, that we have the greatest students and staff members anywhere, and the greatest parents who share their young people with us every day, and we appreciate that very much. We never take it for granted, and it drives us every day. So we'll see a showcase tonight of that. I want to begin first, however, with what Mr. Chairman shared with you. I want to thank Mr. Billy Davis for his many years of service on the board. His wife Rose is here tonight, and we know it takes a team, and they are indeed that, and it takes all of us to get the job done. So we thank you, Mr. Davis and Mrs. Davis. We thank you also for sharing him with the school system all these years, and we appreciate you and your family. So thank you. Dr. Kimberly Outlaw Starkey, she and Mr. Elmer Starkey had a wonderful, beautiful, picturesque wedding in Jamaica.
Excuse me, Mr. Chair, the live stream has stopped, so I'm not, he's working on it.
Okay, all right, well.
All right, that was take one. We'll do take two. Take one.
Charles, we gotta start all over?
No.
Do it again, Billy?
No, Billy's happy.
That's too funny.
We don't have anything else. We crashed it.
Yep, see, they gonna dump out.
Let's repair it.
Damn. So, hey,
Ms. Murchison,
hey.
is it required to be streamed
You provided notice that it would be offered, so, yeah.
every time?
Your current notice does.
Oh, the current notice does.
Your current notice indicates that it will be available that way,
Okay.
so.
Well,
Go on to technical difficulties and move on.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, a lot of boys have. A lot of boys have, yeah.
Yes, yes, sir.
maybe we can start cleaning that off then. Maybe we can start cleaning that off.
We might have to.
And then when it happens again.
We can still record it, yeah. Yeah. We might need to take about a 10 minute.
Yeah, definitely stop.
Oh my goodness. Thank you very much. It was October 11th. Yeah. I'll show you the pictures. Well, that's one of them, but this color
Here in town.
No, we went to Jamaica.
Oh, wonderful.
We went and got married in 90 degrees.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's on the beach?
Yeah, well,
Or close
we
to.
got married in the garden,
Oh.
and then we took some pictures on the beach. No, ma'am.
Wonderful.
My children stayed here, my mother stayed here, everybody stayed here, and I was happy.
Must be YouTube.
No drama?
No drama.
Is YouTube? Yes. YouTube
That was like right after the fair.
Carolyn,
That was us
do we need to, like, just take an official 5 minutes or something?
Yeah.
Mr. Chairman, you want to do that? Take a 5 minutes?
Recess.
Yeah,
Yep. Okay, I'll just go ahead.
All right, we're gonna take a recess,
5 minutes.
5 minutes.
Okay.
We are now back in session. Mr. Williams, you're gonna.
All right, thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. As I was saying before our delay, and thank you again for your patience, everyone. I want to thank Mr. Davis and Mrs. Davis for coming tonight and for your many years of service. I wanted to congratulate Dr. Kimberly Outlaw Starkey. She had a beautiful wedding, picturesque setting, literally paradise of Jamaica, and they're doing well. She tells me that that the first weeks of marriage are going very, very well. Well, I asked her literally. I said, "Is he doing well? Is he behaving? And is he doing well?" She said, "Absolutely. He's great. He's a former LCPS employee, Mr. Elmer Starkey, now an entrepreneur, businessman in town, and just wonderful people. So congratulations,
Thank you
and
so
we're very
much.
proud of you."
Thank you so much.
November is a very busy month in our schools. This week, our schools are administering the state mandated formative assessments known as the NC check-ins. I want to thank all of our teachers and students for all of their hard work and all that they're doing to make not only these the process of these assessments successful, but more important, the daily processes of teaching and learning for the children that we're all so richly blessed to serve. I want to thank them. On Friday, LCPS will be closed, as you know, in observance of Veterans Day. Our schools have many things planned this week to celebrate our veterans, including speakers, projects, and other instructional activities. Please join me and the entire LCPS school system family in honoring and truly thanking all of the veterans in our community and beyond for their military service and for their many sacrifices for the United States of America. We appreciate them. Certainly we honor them on Veterans Day, but every single day we appreciate them and all that they've done. November is National Career Development Month. We have many special things planned this month, including job shadowing, which always is listed by our students as one of their favorite things. They love this. The business community loves this. It's a great opportunity for us to partner with business and manufacturing entities and everywhere from doctors' offices to LCC to factories. And the kids love it. It's a great opportunity for them to see what's really going on out in the world of work at the hospital or the lawyer's office or the doctor's office or Smithfield or Moen or one of the other manufacturers, Crown or Spirit. It's a great opportunity, and I want to thank the members of our business and manufacturing community for partnering with us on this important endeavor for our kids. We think it's a valuable opportunity for all, and it's great. I've asked Ms. Amy Jones, our CTE Director of Career and Technical Education, to make a presentation to you at the December meeting to detail what has happened with job shadowing and all of the other instructional things that we have planned throughout the month of November so that you can be kept apprised of that. So we look forward to that. As I said earlier, our outstanding teachers and other staff members are working very hard every day to move the school system forward in so many significant ways. Their results are impressive. 2 of our schools have been named top 10 schools in North Carolina for the National ESEA Distinguished Schools Program by the North Carolina Department of Public Instruction. Top 10 schools. E.B. Frink Middle School in LaGrange and Pink Hill Elementary School in Pink Hill have both been named top 10 schools in this program by NCDPI, and we want to congratulate them. Among the selection criteria across the board, we could summarize by saying it was the degree to which they have strong wraparound services, 360 services for our children, but specifically in the areas for both schools. It was specifically noted the degree to which on end of grade assessments our children were strongly proficient, demonstrated very strong growth in the area of exceptional children's services. So we congratulate Ms. Hardy in Pink Hill Elementary School and Mr. Michael Moon and E.B. Frink Middle School on a job well done. The North Carolina Department of Public Instruction selected 4 teams of teachers and administrators from Lenore County Public Schools to make presentations of educational innovation and instructional excellence at the 2nd annual AIM conference, AIM for Accelerate, Invigorate, and Motivate conference held a week before last in Raleigh, October 27th and 28th. Last month, I shared with you that we expected our regional Bright Ideas winners by the November meeting. The results are in, and I'm proud to share with you that they are very impressive for LCPS and for our teachers. Tri-County Electric Membership Corporation awarded a total of 110 mini grants to teachers in traditional public schools, charter schools, and private schools in Wayne County, Duplin County, and Lenoir County. I'm pleased to inform you that our teachers absolutely dominated this competition by winning 78 mini grants out of the total of 110 mini grants that Tri-County Electric Membership Corporation awarded this year. LCPS teachers earned a total of $66,560.65 from Bright Ideas. An awards presentation is scheduled for this week. The regional awards presentation, the state level presentations are coming up next month, this month actually. But an awards presentation is scheduled for Thursday at the Tri-County Electric Membership Corporation offices in Dudley, North Carolina, just south of Goldsboro. And it's from 5:30 to 7:30 p.m. And our teachers are outstanding teachers. Our winners will be honored for their dedication and hard work. I want to thank them for all that they did in these grants and all that they're doing in the classrooms every day. But $66,500 that our teachers created through their extra effort and hard work. 100% of that money will go directly to classrooms, nowhere else, directly to classrooms for instruction. And we're so proud of our teachers. I will share information on the state level Bright Ideas winners at our December meeting. And we haven't gotten those official results yet, but some of the teachers have received emails saying that letters are on the way. And Dr. Walston, very competitive, she wanted to let me know immediately. Her school, CSS, has already received word that they have at least one winner, and we expect more notifications tomorrow. But I'll let you know about those. But we do know that we have at least one state level winner in Bright Ideas as well. Our schools competed in the North Carolina School Boards Association Student Video Contest. One of our schools, South Lenoir High School, has been named one of 3 state finalists for the Video Awards competition. South Lenoir is the only school in the southeast region of North Carolina, and Lenoir County Public School that was ranked one of these finalists. And Lenoir County Public Schools is one of only 2 school systems in the state, with Caldwell County being the other county to have a finalist. They have 2 schools, we have 1, and those are the only 2 school systems in the state. Very, very proud of that. Congratulations to Superintendent Don Phipps in Caldwell County and their folks as well. The winners will be announced at an awards dinner held by the North Carolina School Boards Association as part of their annual conference in Greensboro next week. So we'll know the results then. But the worst they could possibly do is third place. Third place is $1,000 for the school. Second place is $2,000 for the school. First place is $3,000 for the school, and the top honor in the state. So congratulations to them. And we'll have hopefully our first place winner, but we'll honor our winner from South Lenoir, our student videographer, and teachers and principal next month with a big win, I hope. Congratulations to Ms. Pierce and the South Lenoir team. You will hear tonight about our recent North Carolina Department of Public Instruction Child Nutrition Monitoring visit. This comprehensive week-long monitoring visit was a great experience that helped to lift up and to affirm the hard work going on in by our child nutrition staff members in our school cafeterias every single day. As the presenters will share, NCDPI described our system, our LCPS Child Nutrition Department, as a model program, and we're very proud of that. Congratulations to Ms. Danielle Smith, our Child Nutrition Director, and all of our team members. As you know, our child nutrition staff was out there first in the pandemic, right along with our teachers, but they were out there fixing, preparing, and delivering those meals to our kids from day one. So they were superstars then, they're superstars now, and they always will be, and they're getting that recognition they deserve. Tonight, you also will have information presented to you about our Beginning Teacher Support Program. We're very proud of our BT program. They had their state review visit last week, and it went very well. The review team had strong praise for the program at all levels. Congratulations to Ms. Heath, Ms. Morris, Ms. Sutton, and all of our mentors and administrators out in the schools for all that they're doing to support our BTs every day, our beginning teachers. And we have one of those beginning teachers here with us tonight who has won the BT of the Year award, and we're proud of him, and we'll celebrate him in just a few moments. Our outstanding LCPS Transportation Director, Dr. Anthony Mitchell, and his team have earned some great news over the last month, and I certainly want to share that with you. First, LCPS was awarded a grant for almost, hold on to your hat here, $800,000 through the Smart School Bus Pilot Program. This grant will help to increase monitoring and safety, video monitoring, audio monitoring, safety equipment on the bus, and additional overall effectiveness and efficiency of our bus operations services. It also will provide a full range of application-based services and options for parents to know when the bus is arriving, and that's pretty basic. We already have some of that, but to give a more precise measurement of when the bus is arriving, and a lot of different information about the bus, and real-time updates and emails and text messages and all that. So we're very pleased with that. So congratulations to Dr. Mitchell and his team. Second, our LCPS Transportation Department also has been awarded a second grant for an electric bus. This grant is in value of $388,000 for the purchase of the electric bus, and $92,000 for the charging system to go along with that bus. So we're excited about that as well. And what do they say on the Home Shopping Network? But wait, there's more. Third, Dr. Mitchell and the LCPS transportation team have been awarded a third grant for a school bus replacement cycle to purchase 4 new school buses at absolutely no cost to our school system. And these buses range anywhere from $109,000 for a new yellow school bus to $128,000, depending on what type of bus and special equipment and services that it has on it. So altogether, this grant is valued at right under $500,000. So congratulations to Dr. Mitchell. If you don't know, we'll be honoring him next month. It'll be his final month with the school system after 46 plus years or so. He has decided to retire. We'll be honoring him, but I said to him just today in our senior staff meeting, what a way to go out. There's such a thing as going out on a high note, and then there's such a thing as really going out very well. So 3 huge grants that he and his team members, and it takes the whole team, he gives all the credit to his team, that they have earned. So congratulations to them. The North Carolina Symphony will be in Lenoir County performing for our students on Wednesday of this week at 10:30 a.m. at the Performing Arts Center on the campus of Kinston High School. Board members, you're all invited to attend if your schedule allows. And tonight it is my honor to recognize some of our students and staff members. First, we have Miss Rachel Noble, a South Lenoir sophomore, and she is quite simply a national champion. Rachel won the Creed speaking competition at the FFA National Convention in Indianapolis, Indiana, during the week of October 24th. As North Carolina's representative at the National Convention, she faced 46 other state winners in competition conducted over a 2-day period. Now, I was in meetings, and I was at one conference. I was with the team in Raleigh, and they were looking at their phones. They were watching this on a live stream and watching and saying, did she get it? Did she get it? Did she get it? I don't know. They haven't announced it yet. It was a lot of excitement in the air. But Rachel, a lot of people lifting you up and a lot of people proud of you. But just a sophomore, we honored her at a previous board meeting for being a state winner and going on to the national competition from Eastern North Carolina, from Little Lenoir County, going to Indianapolis, Indiana, representing us, and lo and behold, she not only did great, she won the thing. So we're so proud of her. To get to the national stage, she won the state title in June. As an 8th grader, she finished 2nd in the state. Active in FFA since the 6th grade, Rachel is president of the South Lenore Chapter, President of the News Federation, and Vice President of the Southeast Region. Also, at the FFA National Convention, David Tyndall received gold recognition for his Proficiency Award in Specialty Crop Production, and Emma Rayner received bronze level recognition for her supervised agricultural experience in diversified livestock production. Both David and Emma are students at South Lenore High School. We're going to bring Rachel up. Her teachers, her two agriculture education teachers, are here. I would like for them to come forward as well. Rachel's mom is here. You can come up if you'd like. She said, no, Rachel can come up by herself, but we'd like her to come up too. And we'll take a photograph if Mr. Chairman would come. This is your event. This is the public speaking portion here. Would you like to share with the folks what it meant to you, to some reflections about just a few moments of reflection about going to the national competition, what it was like, and what it meant to you, the learning that you received there?
Yes, sir. Well, I actually learned the creed back in 7th grade, and since then I continue to work to perfect my skills in public speaking and expand on my agricultural knowledge. It took a lot of support from my community, such as my advisors and my parents, as well as the North County CTE and Farm Bureau, as well as other community organizations that helped me get to the point in which I could compete at the national convention. And it was absolutely thrilling. It was like nothing I had ever seen before. So many people always say it's like a sea of blue jackets when you get there and you see everybody walking in the convention center, and we were able to attend sessions and see the impact that it could not only have on our chapter and people from Lenore County and small towns, but people across the nation. And it was absolutely amazing, and I'm so thankful for the opportunity that I had.
Great job. So what we say to our folks is go forth and continue to go even higher. So the national win, even more national win. So would you like to introduce your mom who's with you and your advisors and share with us what they mean to you?
Yes, sir. So this is Joshua Singleton. He is one of my advisors, as well as Marta Harper. And this is my mom, Jessica Noble, who's here with me tonight. All of these people, as well as my father, who's at home, have helped me so much in my development years, especially working with me and working with gaining partnerships with the community organizations that I work with. My advisors have helped me in honing my skills, like I said, in public speaking, and in my understanding. While I was able to gain knowledge from outside sources, they really helped me to process and understand and formulate my answers in a way that was relatable and understandable to the judges, so that when I compete, they would see that I wasn't just somebody who had facts and answers, but that I really understood what I was talking about and that I had experience in it.
Great. Outstanding. Mr. Singleton, Ms. Harper, would either of y'all like to comment briefly for the board and the public?
We're proud of our students. Rachel was one of 8 students that we carried, and her peers supported her every step of the way, as well as the community, like she mentioned. We appreciate the board allowing us the opportunity to go, and appreciate the community supporting her and everything that she's doing. So we're very proud of her, and we're looking forward to the next national title.
Thank you to you and Mr. Noble, a former LCPS employee, now an administrator in the neighboring district. Great ag ed teacher, and I'm sure that it's in the genes, right? Mom and dad, both educators. So just appreciate y'all so much sharing her with us. Let's take a photo. These certificates for you.
All right, right here. One, two, one, two. All right.
Great job.
Job.
Congratulations to the men's and women's cross-country teams at South Lenore High School for an amazing season that ended with an avalanche of awards. The teams won their respective East Carolina 2A conference championships. Blue Devils runners Charlie Whitaker and Christopher Harrow earned individual conference championships and were named Runners of the Year. Coach Carlos Dodd was honored as the Men's Coach of the Year. At the October 29th regionals, the men's team finished as regional champion runner-up, and the women finished third in qualifying to the state championships. I'm going to ask Mr. Dodd, our coach. Mr. Dodd, I want to tell you something about Mr. Dodd here. He doesn't know I'm going to say this, but I was talking to some of his students at South Lenore about him, and these kids would just do anything. They told me they wanted to be successful for themselves, but they also wanted to be successful for Coach Dodd. They didn't want to let down the team, didn't want to let down Coach Dodd, and he's built this program literally from scratch there, and it's a strong, successful program, and Coach, we appreciate you and what you're doing with these young people. So you want to come forward and we'll bring up. 96 class. As we get Chris and Charlie to come up, if you want to say something about the program while they're coming up.
Yes. Chris is also, we didn't get that in there beforehand, but Chris is also the regional champion individual. He won the regional race too. And both of them and the teams both competed at the state level this past weekend. Both teams finished 13th in the state overall to finish our season for this year. Not quite as high as we wanted, but we were looking to go a little bit better. And we're hoping that next year will be that chance. And to also mention, not only is she a national champion, but she's also a conference champion too, because Rachel is also part of that team too. So we do have, I do want to mention, we have a couple seniors that have been with us. In case people don't know our team, the boys, this is the 12th in a row consecutive conference championship. And the girls, this is their second in a row. So it's been a long tradition. The seniors that are leaving this year will have 4 conference championships under their belt under cross country. And that's Derek Kapansky, Alex Flores, and for the boys, David Philippi, and for the ladies, Madeline Tucker. So
This is, Lenore County's never had a dominant team like the teams that he's built over the last few years at, in cross country at South Lenore High School. So I commend that. When you build a program and a team, it's something far different than just a one-off success thing. Would either of you, Charlie or Chris, like to say anything briefly about what this has meant to you? Put you on the spot there, sorry for that.
I mean, it means a lot to me. I didn't really expect to ever run cross country before. But I'm glad I did try it because it brought me to new things, brought me places, made me win many things I never thought I would win before. I never thought I would be regional champion ever in my life, but God gave me that chance to be one, and I really appreciate him for that.
That's great.
So,
she didn't want your attention.
One other person we meet up here is Miss Pierce, the principal. She was leaning down, hiding in the back.
That was good.
Oh, sorry, Coach. Congratulations. As parents, thank y'all for sharing.
John, Bill.
It's a high class of 96.
LCPS is proud to announce the district's choice for Beginning Teacher of the Year for 22-23. Congratulations to Mr. Zachary Pierce, a second-year social studies teacher at Lenore County Early College High School. Mr. Pierce will represent LCPS in state-level beginning of the year teacher competition. A graduate of East Carolina University, Mr. Pierce coached at Contentnia Savannah K-8 before interning at Early College during the 2020-2021 school year and joining the faculty in July 2021. Any interaction I've had with Mr. Pierce, he's a person of strong character, and it shows in his love and devotion for kids. And he's a hard worker, and he's upbeat, and he, according to Mr. Saint Man, who supervises him every day, that he adds significantly to early college, high school, to the team out there, and is a very positive member of the LCPS team. And so tonight, Mr. Pierce, we call you forward to be recognized. Mr. I asked Zach once, Zach, do you ever get upset? And he said, not much. And his principal, Mr. Saint-Amand. Congratulations to Casey and Landry Smith, seniors at Lenoir County Early College High School, for their induction into the National Society of High School Scholars. The induction ceremony was held at the Gaylord National Harbor Hotel and Convention Center in Washington, D.C. Also worth noting, the sisters, the twins, Casey and Landry, are both published poets with poems published in the National Library of Poetry. At this time, please help me welcome Ms. Casey and Ms. Landry Smith, and we'll ask the parents who, I believe both parents are here this evening. I'll ask them to come forward if they would like, and we will recognize the girls. Congratulations, Mom. All right, girls, would you like to share briefly some of your reflections from being in this national, receiving this national recognition? And your students at a non-traditional school, you're in the early college, high school, that affords you many opportunities that some students don't have. So
at first, I was not completely sure what this opportunity would be for me, but I decided to go for it, and I asked my parents, and we decided that we wanted to attend the Scholars Day in Washington, D.C., where we were to be recognized. But during this, we really learned a lot. We were able to learn how to communicate with other people. We were able to network with other students from different states. We were able to talk to different colleges, learn more about what degrees we wanted to go into, things like that.
Yes, and also, I actually found that I wanted to add another college to my list, so that was something that I really enjoyed, was being able to branch out and figure out what colleges best suit me and what I think would be good for the degree program that I would like to go into moving forward.
So Casey, can you share what college it was? You got it? Or we'll keep that confidential. Dad said if it's not agency.
That's right.
All right, Mr. Sagerman, the principal is here to come up.
That's right.
Okay, on three. 1, 2, 3. One more. 1, 2, 3. All right.
Good job.
Okay, Mr. Chairman, that concludes my report.
Any questions from Mr. Williams? Thank you, Mr. Williams, for highlighting those successes, and you were not kidding when you said it was a busy November. Mr. Taylor, anyone signed up for public comment? Thank you, ma'am. All right, we will now move to the presentation portion of the agenda. Chair recognizes Mrs. Melissa Lynch, as Mary Riddick, Carissa Key, and is Ray here?
Ray is not. Ray is
Ray
sick.
is not here,
Ray is
okay.
sick.
To present a digital learning showcase.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you, Superintendent Williams and board members. Tonight, I am pleased to introduce Miss Mary Riddick, who is our digital learning specialist at Contentnious Savannah K-8 School, and our 7th grade student, Marissa Key, who are going to share for you tonight some of the digital learning showcase items that Contentnious Savannah has been working on in their schools. Just to get them started tonight, I do want to remind the board and the community that our devices and our tools that the students have are such great tools. We're very thankful for them, and our students and our teachers use them regularly. These are these projects and showcases you'll see tonight are part of their everyday work, and we want to highlight that a lot of the tools they're using are tools they can use outside of school as well without any internet needed. So these are wonderful learning tools for our students.
So thank you for having us tonight. We're very excited to be here. In early October, we were visited by our Apple Education consultant, Nancy Kuznicki, and Nancy met with several of our teachers and helped plan lessons and organize and utilize the iPad for creation. Our students at CSS really enjoy being able to use their iPads to create. It adds a lot of value and internalization of learning for them. We're excited to share with you some of the creations our students have produced. So the first grade we did 5th grade. Our 5th grade science students are studying weather this 9 weeks, and one of the aspects of weather that they were learning about were the various weather instruments. Students selected a weather instrument that they wanted to use, and using Keynote and only Keynote, they created a scene that illustrated the type of weather their instrument would be used in. The scenes were created using features such as shapes, audio recording, and animation features. I'm going to play just a little bit of this. There are several videos embedded in this, but I'm only going to do a little bit of this one. I hope you'll take some time to go back and look at them linked in the board documents so you can see the whole thing.
Hi, my name is Sunny Durangi, and today I'm going to tell you why my silver planet instruments. I am an employer instrument to take how much precipitation like rain, snow, sleet, and hail, and I take the measure of precipitation so you will know how much did it rain outside.
And that's just a little bit. She goes on for a little bit longer, but they spent probably 3 or 4 days working on these, and they did a really great job. They brought some of that personification to life. Our next grade was our 8th grade math students. Miss Deaver is our 8th grade math teacher, and her students have been studying multi-step equations. She really wanted to create a visual model for her students to help them walk through the process of solving the problem using that model. The class that we actually worked in was her inclusion class, which has EC students in it, and we were amazed at the work that these students did. This video is about 3 minutes long, but it is an example of a student who walks through learning how to solve the problem, showing how to do that, and creating the model for them. So this is the example that Ms. Deaver created for them first, and they continue to solve that equation. There's animation, there are slide changes, etc. Sorry. And they just really enjoy doing this, and they got a lot out of this. Ms. Deaver also said that through doing this activity, she had about 95% of her students submit their actual assignment, which is quite a jump from a lot of the things that normally get turned in.
When we were planning this lesson, I remember specifically Ms. Deaver and Ms. Riddick and Ms. Kuznicki and myself kind of sparring back and forth about how much control the students should have over this portion of the activity. And I remember Ms. Deaver was like, I'm going to tell them what shape to use. Like, I want them to use this and this. And the more we talked, the more she said, okay, I trust you. Let's just let the students roll with this and see what they come up with. And I think that for me, being in the classroom, that was one of the most valuable lessons and most valuable pieces, was that when we allow students to have some of that choice over how they show their understanding,
we are the ones that end up being amazed at what they show. So it was a, make sure you go in and watch that video. It was a great example of students explaining their learning in a very quick amount of time for teachers.
And there were also a lot of things that Ms. Geaver learned about the way the students were thinking as she watched them try to create those problems as well in those models. Kindergarten. Our kindergarten students are new to the whole school thing. Keep in mind this was about week 4 of the school year, so they are learning how to be good students and good citizens at school, and their focus was on character education. Ms. Smith's students have an affirmation that they say every morning when they come in. I am smart, I am kind, I am brave, I am strong, those kinds of things, and they say that every morning. So what we did with them is we had them create a 2-slide presentation, and we really walked them through this, but they created their own presentation with the background. They followed directions, which was important. The first slide is the title slide, which they were all using the word trustworthy. And then on the second slide, they inserted pictures that showed the things they were talking about in their affirmation. We had the students do a group recording of everybody saying their affirmation together. And when you go back and play the video, you'll hear that. And then we also had each student do their own individual recording of themselves explaining what trustworthy means. So priceless from these little kindergarten babies, and we were really impressed with what they were able to do. And then we rounded out with our 7th grade. We had 2 teachers in 7th grade who jumped on board with this. Ms. Fordham is our 7th grade math teacher, and she used a couple of different things on the iPad. She'd been working on scale factors, so students used the Measure app on the iPad to measure the shapes that you can see right in the green triangle picture there. They used their iPad to measure that. And they came up with that, created their picture, and they inserted their picture into their keynote, as you can see on the other 2 pictures. So they're able to then use the scale factor equation that they were given to determine how big their new drawing should be, and then they were able to create it in their slide presentation. So they had to walk through the actual process of doing the conversion and illustrating it for their teacher so she could make sure they did it correctly. And then our last teacher that we had, which is Marissa's going to talk a little bit more about what they did in just a minute. Our teacher that we're featuring tonight is our 7th grade science teacher, Ms. Van Cura. Students have been studying the body systems in science this 9 weeks, and they originally used Keynote to create transparent pictures of the different organs that are in the different body systems. Then they took that and they imported those pictures into an app that we have called AR Maker, which is augmented reality. So what it lets them do, and we're going to try to show you a little bit of that in just a minute, it lets them create, you can see in the bottom picture on the right, that's what the drawing looks like when it's done in AR Maker. So they just kind of use the flat surface to place it, and they were able to place the digestive system organs in the correct order and create a picture in their AR Maker. And then they took these pictures and they used them. Ms. Van Cura expanded on the activity that we did, and she actually created a journal in Pages for them to use as like a study guide for their digestive system and for all the other body systems that they had. So she really was able to take that and take it a little bit further. And that's what I'm going to have Marissa talk a little bit about. She's going to show you her journal. She is also going to talk a little bit, if we can make it work, to show you a little bit of how the AR Maker works, which is a challenge for a lot of people because it's very different. Okay?
In science class, we had to complete a journal illustrating and detailing all the body systems we had studied. And as you can see, there's a chart of things we had to list and do, and then it shows the digestive system. The journal shows me what everything looked like and showed you how they are connected and how they function as a system. Doing it on the iPad rather than on paper made it easier to keep up with. I have it right there when I want to review or really need to study with my notes. The audio recordings help me walk through things, and I really hear myself explain it. That helps me remember and recall things I have learned. The AR Maker part was more of a challenge for me. It's very visual and different than anything we have usually used. So I had to really work with it to figure it out. But it helped me learn and push myself to really think and apply what I knew. So we had, the pancreas is a part of the digestive system. We had to take a part of every system and write about it. And we also had to use 3 facts about it. And we wrote it and we drew it on Keynote and we imported it onto Pages. Same with the rest of the system, like the circulatory, and I used the heart for that one. And then we have the respiratory, and for that one I used the lungs, the immune system, and for that I used the bone marrow. And then not last, but we have the nervous and endocrine system, and for that one I had used the brain. And for the last one, I used the skeletal and muscular system, and for that one I had used the skull. So, AR Maker, you want to get a flat surface, so like before. Choose your files, and you can choose anyone you want. And save it.
Marissa, I think you need to give them a test afterwards and make sure.
We'll send you the journal. What she's trying to do right now, usually there's a grid that'll pop up to allow you to be able to find, and it may be that we may not have enough light for her to really be able to show that, because it does require a decent amount of light. But you have a grid that'll pop up, and then it'll allow you to place whatever you want on that flat surface. And then when you place it where you want it, you can lock it there.
And
so that's how they build.
What's really cool and awesome about the AR Maker is that it does bring those flat 2D surfaces to life. So what students were able to do when they built all of their organs in the system, they could then bring them into augmented reality and have them physically be in the room with them. So then they could place them in the correct order and visualize, without just seeing it on a piece of paper, but truly visualize what they would look like in the human body.
And as you can see, we're having a little difficulty with the grid to show, which is part of the challenge that Marissa talked about. I am not a spatial person, so this was a challenge for me as well. Let's try that now.
There we go.
But this is this is how they learn and how they figure out what works and what doesn't.
That's right.
Should I step in the center?
Yeah.
Try
yes,
it. Do it,
definitely.
Marissa. They'll just have to visit you one day.
Yeah.
What about
A video demonstration.
what about the table? Would it do better on that, not the
It
carpet?
might do better. You want to try it right here on the table? And when we were in the classroom that day, we did have to open all the blinds and pull the blinds up so students could have that access. But as soon as it clicks, the whole room goes, oh.
Yeah. It's really
We'll
neat.
have to give you that moment later. I did want to share too. I'll try to grab the screen. I'm not certain if I'll be able to on my device. You stay right where you are. You're great. This is another example, an example of exactly what Marissa showed with the human body journal that the students have worked in. And what's great about this is our students actually can become published authors, because Marissa did not just create a journal, she created a book in Pages. And so this is an example. This is another student in the class that we exported the book as an EPUB, and now it's in our iBook station here on my device. So I can open iBooks and you can see there's my book. So now as I'm going through, this student has a published book, an iBook, on their device that they're able to then take and learn from, but also share with others. And so part of this learning is more than just what we're doing with our students, but it's what we're able to share to the world, because that's part of living in the time that we live in. So again, the tools that we have and that we're able to use go far beyond just the classroom that we're in.
And the drawing that you see here is exactly what the student created in AR Maker. So they were using their desktop and they created a model of the digestive system. And we thank you for your time, we thank you for listening, and we thank you for the opportunity.
So Marissa, as I said to you before the program started, before the board meeting started tonight, I commend you for coming and being willing to do this. Marissa's parents are here with us tonight. Thank you for sharing her with us. She's a great young lady. And I just want to share with you in terms of feedback on your presentation. There are many adults who could not and would not come here and make such a great presentation of learning. So thank you. Let's give her another round of applause. Great job. Great job.
All right, are there any questions or comments for Mrs. Lynch, Mrs. Reddick, or Marissa? Okay, thank you, Mrs. Lynch, Mrs. Reddick, and Marissa. And this is yet another example of how our students are using technology in the classroom to be successful. Chair recognizes Mrs. Frances Herring to present an overview of the Lenore County Public Schools 2023-2024 instructional calendar development process.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, board members. I appreciate your patience tonight as I go through the process that we have engaged in the last several weeks with regards to our calendar for next school year. We have a calendar planning committee. There are 20 members on the committee. There's one representative from 16 schools, one from each of the 16 schools. There's not a representative from the early college because they have a separate calendar, as you recall, that follows the community college. We have a representative from each of our departments. There's a central services representative, a transportation representative, pre-K, and maintenance. So all 20 of us met on November the 1st. There's lots of responsibilities that come with being a member of the committee. They're responsible for going back to their schools and explaining the school calendar legislation. It's very specific, and I've shared it with you each year, but there's not a lot of wiggle room with creation to the school calendar, and it's important that the members of the schools understand that. They're responsible also for communicating the required state holidays that are set by the State Personnel Commission for state employees. So we have to take those into consideration as well. We must follow those. And then they're responsible for presenting the calendar options to the staff and explaining different elements of each of the calendars. They must coordinate with the principal the time and place of the staff meeting where they will be presenting the legislation, the holidays, and the calendar options. And they work with the principal to talk about where to post the calendar options in the school for staff members to view. So it's very important that the calendar options be in a place that receives a lot of traffic. They're responsible for overseeing the voting process, which is an anonymous process, and their job is to encourage full participation. We don't want to bring a calendar option to you or say only 30% of our employees voted. So they work really hard to encourage full participation. And then they're responsible for reporting the votes to my office. And I collect the votes for all the calendar options, not just the one that will win. So what's been our timeline? So I asked the principals by October 24th to confirm who the committee member would be representing their school. We had a meeting November the 1st. We met for several hours. The votes will be tabulated and reported no later than November 21st to my office. And at the December 5th board meeting, I will present to you as an information item the calendar option that receives the most votes. And then you'll have a month to review that presented calendar, and on the January 9th board meeting, the calendar will be presented as an action item, hopefully for your approval. So we're very close, and the committee has narrowed it down to 2 options, and they are currently working with their principals to present those options to the schools and to get the voting process up and going. So I thank you. If you have any questions, I'll be happy to answer them.
Any questions or comments from Ms. Herring? Thank you, Mrs. Herring.
Thank
and
you.
If you have any questions, please contact Mrs. Herring. As she said, the instructional calendar will come to the board for approval at a subsequent meeting. Chair recognizes Mrs. Pam Heath and Mrs. Lynn Morris to present the 2022 Lenore County Public Schools Beginning Teacher Support Program Plan.
Good evening, board members. It is indeed our pleasure to present to you for your consideration the Beginning Teacher Support Program Plan for Lenoir County Public Schools. Mrs. Morris, our BT Support Coordinator, and I would like to give you a brief summary of the 22-23 plan. This is a condensed version of the 10 pages of the plan that you received in your board packet. In accordance with North Carolina State Board of Education Policy TCED 016, Lenoir County Public Schools Beginning Teacher Support Program offers the necessary support for an individual's instructional and professional growth during the first 3 years of their employment. All teachers who hold initial Standard Professional 1 licenses must participate in a 3-year induction period with a formal orientation, mentor support, observations, and evaluation before being recommended for a continuing Standard Professional 2 license at the end of the 3-year BT support process. A beginning teacher's assignment must match their area of licensure. Beginning teachers employed for full-time service will be considered to have participated for 1 full year if they participate in the program for 6 consecutive school months.
The updates to this plan include the addition of the beginning teacher support specialist, whose duties include but are not limited to notifying principal and supervisors that a teacher has been enrolled in the beginning teacher support program, conferring with principals, supervisors to assign a beginning teacher or mentor, providing orientation for beginning teachers and mentors, serving as an effective team member, coordinating and monitoring support team activities through meetings with principals, assistant principals, individual meetings with mentors, and a thorough review of the required documentation, as well as maintaining mentor and mentee logs. We will be happy to answer any questions you have at this time, and we do ask that you review the plan that you have in your packet, and hopefully we'll approve the plan when it is submitted as an action item at next month's agenda. Do you have any questions?
All right, any questions for Mrs. Heath? Thank you, Mrs. Heath, Ms. Martin.
Thank
And
you.
like I said, if you have any questions, please contact either one of the ladies. And any teacher support plan will come to the board for approval at a subsequent meeting. The chair recognizes Mr. Nick Harvey to present a summary of the recent state review of the Lenoir County Public School Nutrition Department services by the Lenoir County Department of Public Instruction.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Good evening, board members. It is indeed a pleasure to share with the board the results of the 2022 Child Nutrition Administrative Review that was conducted by the Department of Public Instruction the week of October 10th. The annual review is conducted every 5 years. This year's review, adjectives like outstanding, awesome, and great were used to describe the work of Ms. Smith and the entire Child Nutrition Department. Although only 3 schools, Woodington, Southeast, and North Lenoir, had on-site visits by auditors, all of our schools were prepared for the review. Ms. Smith strategically did not inform her managers which schools were randomly selected because she knew they all would be ready. I would like to share with you just a few of the commendations that were left by the review team. 1, the superintendent and the school nutrition administration have collaboratively worked with them to improve their relationship with school nutrition employees and all other employees in LCPS. The time and focus from the administration placed on staff relations and team building has paid off with increased motivation of employees and enhanced service to students. Any outside individual who enters school can feel the high expectation of all employees, their dedication, and teamwork. Also, the school nutrition director should be commended for providing a business course at the beginning of the school year to managers to increase their understanding of the business aspect of the program, to encourage managers to take ownership of the program. And lastly, which is most impressive, all full-time school nutrition employees have earned full food safety certifications in a nationally recognized food safety course. Ms. Smith and her team, as I stated, have done an outstanding job. The auditors also shared during the reporting meeting that a typical exit document consists of 15 to 20 pages of recommendations and findings. They were so impressed by the work of our department that they were able to hone in on small areas of improvement that are many times not found due to many more significant matters. I can report, however, by the end of the day on October 13th, Ms. Smith and her team had taken steps to address each recommendation and have made further recommendations to administration to address the findings. Please join me in congratulating and acknowledging the hard work of our entire Child Nutrition Department for providing the best environment possible for the students of Lenoir County. I'll entertain any questions you may have.
Any questions or comments from Mr. Harvey? Okay, thank you, Mr. Harvey. This is an outstanding review of our Child Nutrition Department. We would like to thank the Child Nutrition Director, staff, and the entire Child Nutrition Department for the hard work and dedication that has resulted in such an outstanding review by the North Carolina Department of Public Instruction.
Thank you.
Okay, Chair recognizes Mr. Nick Harper to present an update on the North High School wastewater treatment facility
Yes,
project.
thank you. We are grateful for 2 grant opportunities from the North Carolina General Assembly that were specifically earmarked for Lenoir County that will provide a significant impact operationally for LCPS. Funding for the first project will be facilitated by Lenoir County government, specifically County Manager Mr. Michael James. The second project that we'll discuss in our next item will be facilitated by LCPS. The first project, the North Lenoir High School wastewater treatment facility, has been an area of severe concern and definitely one that has grown in significance over the last 24 months. North Lenoir is the only remaining school in the district that has a standalone treatment plant on site. Our maintenance department, and more specifically Mr. Jeffrey Turnage and Mr. Thevon Arnold, have worked tirelessly to maintain the aging facility. However, the plant is nearing total disrepair. The county has selected the Wooten Company to manage this project. Last week, along with Michael James and his team and our Lenoir County Maintenance Department, conducted a walkthrough of the facility with the Wooten Company, and we are in the early stages of planning the replacement and or the phasing out of the standalone facility entirely. If the latter direction is feasible, we will tie into a municipal sewer system and be out of the wastewater business completely. I will keep the board informed as the path forward becomes clearer. I'll entertain any motions that you may have.
All right, any questions or comments from Mr. Harvey? Okay, thank you, Mr. Harvey. This is indeed good news for North Lenoir High School and Lenoir County Public Schools. This is something we have a need for a long time.
Yes.
Chair recognizes Mr. Nick Harvey to present an update on the Pink Hill Elementary School alternate entrance.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. As I stated earlier, the second project, although funding is also grant money provided by the NC General Assembly, this project will be facilitated by LCPS. Pink Hill Elementary School has been selected to improve the ingress and egress situation at the school. Currently, there is only one way in and out of Pink Hill, and it creates a serious bottleneck issue at arrival and dismissal times at the school. Creating an additional drive space and parking area will create a much safer environment for students, staff members, and stakeholders. The funding for this project has not been released as of today. However, it is expected to be pushed to the county very soon. Working with Mr. Michael James and with the support of county commissioners and our General Assembly members, we are grateful for this opportunity. I will notify the board when the procurement of a vendor is complete and share the progress of this project once work begins. I entertain any questions you may have regarding Pink Hill.
Okay, are there any questions or comments from Mr. Harvey?
Can you just explain what it would look like? I go by there every.
Right.
We're in the early stages of that too, but the way I understand it.
Right. The where you turn in now, there's a one in and one out at Pink Hill. This would, just as you're turning into the drive at Pink Hill, on your right, there's a tree line, and we own about a third of that field there. So, and the line goes at an angle, but you could say roughly a third of the field. So to trace that wood line and to create an alternate entrance there and a drive that goes all the way down, approximately the length of the current drive from where it turns, and then cut through those woods there, create an alternate parking lot over there, and cut through those woods there and tile that and come through there, and it would be a secondary entrance.
We're really excited about the opportunity.
Okay, are there any other more questions or comments from Mr. Harvey? Okay, thank you again, Mr. Harvey. This is also good news for Pinckney Elementary and Lenore County Public Schools. This is something needed to provide better traffic flow and to improve school safety. Chair recognizes Mr. Eric Adams to present the October 2022 financial report.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Good evening, board members. The October 2022 financial report summarizes budget and year-to-date activity for all Lenore County Board of Education funds as of October 31st. Additionally, the report presents the unadjusted local current expense fund balance for the same time period. As you have an opportunity to review the report, I'll be happy to answer any questions.
Any questions from Mr. Adams? Okay, thank you, Mr. Adams.
Thank you.
All right, we will now move to the action portion of the agenda. Chair recognizes Mrs. Frances Herring to present the North Carolina Star School Improvement Plan for each of Lenore County Public Schools for the 2022-2023 school year.
Thank you, Mr. Chair and board members. At the October 3rd board meeting, you'll remember that I presented an overview of the common themes that run through all of our school improvement plans at all 17 of our schools. And we provided an executive summary of each of those plans along with the actual comprehensive plans that were pulled down directly from NC STAR. I'm just here to respectfully request that these plans be accepted and so that you might approve them so that we may upload them to the state site the first week of December when they are due.
Any questions for Mrs. Herring? Thank you, Mrs. Herring. Is there a recommendation or a motion pertaining to the school improvement plans?
Move to approve the school improvement plans as presented.
Motion by Mr. Pickett. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Davis. We have a motion by Mr. Smith and a second by Mr. Davis to approve the North Carolina Star School Improvement Plans for each Lenore County Public School for the 2022-2023 school year as presented. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, chair will call for the vote. All in favor of the motion as stated, please signify by raising your right hand. All opposed, like sign. Motion carries.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mrs. Herring. Chair recognizes Mr. Nick Harvey to provide clarification on the Teachers Memorial Facility surplus property.
Gladly. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. On November 1st, 2021, by motion of this board, the board declared the property of Teachers Memorial surplus property. At the time of the motion, the board was unaware that in addition to Teachers Memorial, it also owned the Martin C. Freeman Complex, the gymnasium, and parking lot, both located at 500 Marcella Drive. The discovery of this information brought some uncertainty as to what precisely the board initially declared surplus. Specifically, the board could not have declared the full parcel surplus as it was unaware at the time that in November of the full size of the parcel it owned. Based on the advice of council, we are asking for two new motions today to declare each portion individually as surplus property. First, we respectfully ask for a motion to amend the previous motion of the board on November 1st, 2021, declaring Teachers Memorial surplus property to more clearly define the property being declared surplus as that motion of the property that is known in the community as the former school site of Teachers Memorial, and excluding the Martin C. Freeman Complex and parking lot as outlined in the attached survey. Second, we ask for a motion to declare surplus the remaining portion of the property located at 500 Marcella Drive, Kinston, North Carolina, known as the Martin C. Freeman Complex, the gymnasium, and parking lot, boundaries of which are identified on the attached survey. In your board packet, I've attached the timeline, the survey, and a memorandum from the Kinston, Lenore County Parks and Recreation Department regarding the Martin C. Freeman Complex.
All right, are there any questions for Mr. Harvey? Yes, sir, Mr.
Not a question. Mr. Harper, can you kind of further explain a little bit how this came to pass as we did in that meeting?
Sure.
We found that out, so they'll be clear on it.
Sure. So let me get the right date here. We were contacted by county officials once the board took action in late 2021 and approved the building as surplus. They requested to hold off on surplus proceedings to establish ownership of the gym. It has been my thought, as long as I can remember, and I've served as chairman of the Lenore County Parks and Recreation Commission for several years. I know other board members have served, you have, Mr. King has. It's always been our understanding that the Parks and Recreation or the county owned the Martin C. Freeman Complex, 1 foot around it, and the gym specifically. Once we began the process of beginning or wanting to offer the building back to the county, they said not so fast. We don't have any documentation that establishes ownership, nor did the city. And Ms. Taylor spent many, many hours in the archives, and we can share that information with you if you need it. But from school board meetings many, many years ago, when it was Kinston City Schools, way back to 1967 and 1968 respectively, they talked about the building of the facility and what kind of agreement would be made to allow the school system to use the gym, but be owned by then the Parks and Recreation Commission. No such deed ever existed, and Carolyn, if I misspeak, let me know, but there's no official deed was ever established. So you do indeed own the entire facility. However, the city of Kinston has paid utilities on that property since 1969. It has been used solely by the Parks and Recreation Commission once the school system vacated the property, and even before they used it. And in some of the writings it said from 3 p.m. to 6 a.m. The school system would have to request use of the facility because it was indeed theirs. That was in the language in some of the writings as well. So we talked about fair market value and other things, and we'll get into that once you make your decision tonight. But the city of Kinston has indeed paid for all the utilities and upkeep of the gym since 1969.
In terms of the gymnasium, of course, the city wants to retain or wants to establish ownership of that, or the county does. So once you declare it surplus, along with the other one, we're prepared to issue 2 separate letters for each parcel separately. And as it relates to the gymnasium, for either party, if the county is interested in either parcel, the board is required to obtain fair market value from that. But we can use improvements to either one of the parcels, as well as costs that have been put into it to offset any potential fair market value purpose. So the letter and the memo that they provided is an attempt to demonstrate that the money they put in, even in the most recent years, is certainly sufficient to meet that fair market standard, and could possibly lead to a clean exchange without any money changing hands, depending on what it actually appraises at. So.
Okay, are there any other questions of Mr. Harvey or Mrs. Burgess? Okay, thank you, Mr. Harvey.
Thank you.
This issue was presented to the Facilities Committee for study, and like Mr. Harvey said, we will need 2 separate motions. So is there a recommendation or motion pertaining to the previous motion passed on November 1st, 2021, declaring Teachers Memorial as surplus property?
Motion.
I'm good with that now?
Motion.
Mr. Smith, okay, is there a second?
Good.
All right, got a second by Mr. Davis. All right, we have a motion by Mr. Smith and a second by Mr. Davis.
Could we just have clarification?
Want me to read it?
Yeah, if you could read it, or as written in the agenda would be sufficient. If you could just say motion as, yeah.
All right.
Motion.
So,
Move.
a motion by Mr. Smith and a second by Mr. Davis to amend the previous motion of this board on November the 1st, 2021, declaring Teachers Memorial surplus property to more clearly define the property being declared surplus as that portion of the property that is known in the community as the former school site of Teachers Memorial, and excluding the Martin C. Freeman Complex and parking lot as outlined on the attached survey. Is that correct?
Is that correct, Mr. Smith?
That's correct.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Is there any discussion? Okay, hearing none, Chair will call for the vote. All in favor of the motion as stated, please signify by raising your right hand. All opposed, like sign. Motion carries. All right, now is there a recommendation or motion pertaining to the Mark C. Freeman Complex and Parking Lot?
Motion to declare surplus the remaining portion of the property located at 500 Marcella Drive, Kinston, North Carolina, known as Martin C. Freeman Complex, Gymnasium, and Parking Lot, boundaries of which are identified on the attached survey.
Got a motion, is there a second?
Second.
Got a second. Motion by Mr. Smith and a second by Mr. Davis to declare the remaining portion of the property located at 500 Marcella Drive, Kinston, North Carolina, known as the Martin C. Freeman Complex, Gymnasium, and the parking lot, boundaries of which are identified on the attached survey. All right, is there any discussion? I'm hearing none, Chair will call for the vote. All in favor of the motion to state, please signify by raising your right hand. All opposed, like sign. Motion carries. Okay, is there a recommendation or a motion pertaining to closed session?
Mr. Chairman.
Yes, Mr. Anderson.
Mr. Chairman, I move that Lenore County Board of Education enter into closed session under General Statute 143-311 to present the disclosure of confidential personnel files. To consider confidential student information protected under General Statute 115C-402 and the Family Educational Rights and Privacy Act 20 U.S.C. 1232G and General Statute 143-318.11 A1 and 3 to consult with the board's attorney to preserve their attorney-client privilege as provided in General Statute 143-318.11 A3, and to consider matters relevant relating to the initial employment of an employee.
Got a motion by Mr. Anderson, is there a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Got a motion by Mr. Anderson, a second by Mr. Smith. Put it plainly, to move to closed session. Is there any discussion?
No.
Hearing none, Chair will call for the vote. All in favor of the motion, please signify by raising your right hand. All opposed, like sign. Motion carries. We are now in closed session.
Throw your money.
Okay, Chair recognizes that the Lenore County Board of Education is back in open session. Is there a recommendation or motion pertaining to personnel recommendations?
Move to approve the personnel report with the addendum.
Motion by Mr. Smith. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Davis. We got a motion by Mr. Smith and a second by Mr. Davis to approve the monthly personnel recommendations with the addendum as presented. Is there any discussion?
Mr. Chairman, I need to recuse.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Anderson. Mr. Anderson is going to recuse himself from the vote. All right? Because of?
Immediate family members.
Okay. Thank you, sir. All right. Is there any more discussion? Okay, if not, hearing none, Chair will call for the vote. All in favor of the motion as stated, please signify by raising your right hand. All opposed, like sign. Motion carries. You didn't have anything, right? With no further business to come before this board, is there a recommendation or motion pertaining to adjournment?
Move to adjourn.
Motion by Mr. Davis, is there a second? Second by Mr. Anderson. Motion by Mr. Davis and a second by Mr. Anderson to adjourn the November 7th, 2022 regular monthly board meeting. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, Chair will call for the vote. All in favor of the motion as stated, please signify by raising your right hand. All opposed, like sign. Motion carries. Meeting is adjourned. Thank you and please stay safe.
Charles.